If you are one of those people that live to eat, then The Healthy Butcher is here in Kitchener and they cater to you. Mario, have you been a butcher your whole life? Tell us your story.
I haven't been a butcher my whole life. In fact, I don't call myself a butcher now. I was a lawyer prior to opening the store with my wife, and we actually were vegetarian before opening the store, so we completely jumped ships into a different realm.
So you switched careers and you switched eating philosophies, and so what made you decide to eat meat again?
Well, neither of us were not eating meat because we didn't want to eat meat. We both had read various books like Fast Food Nation and watched PETA videos, and we were pretty much disgusted at the meat that was available. So it's not that I didn't want to eat meat, it was just that I didn't want to eat the meat that was readily available. It came to a point where I didn't really feel good, and actually, as much as I tried balancing my diet, I never was able to, and I think, I was looking for a little bit of meat. I think most people do well with a little bit of meat. I think we eat far too much meat in our diets, but a little bit goes a long way. So we started looking for organic meat, and locally raised, preferably. We couldn't find it anywhere. Where we did find it, it was pre-vacuum sealed, frozen, not appealing. And when we did find it fresh, it was never, we asked where it's from, you get one answer one week, another answer the next week, and we said, you know what, there's got to be a better way. So we started looking for local farmers who were raising organically. There was a growing number of them, and but they didn't have a market to sell into. So we said, let's create that market, and The Healthy Butcher was born shortly after.
What's important about what you do?
It's not just about the meat that we sell, which is certified organic. It's about how we deal with the farmers and how we deal with the meat. So not only are we dealing with sustainably raised meat, but we deal with the meat sustainably. And what that means to us is bringing in the whole animals and dealing with the whole animals, because that is the only way to sustainably deal with meat. Because unfortunately, a beef cow is not a walking loin, so there's more to a beef than strip loin and ribeyes and tenderloins. So we always do use the whole animal, and we only sell as many animals as our slowest selling cuts.
Now this initially sounds like a very modern approach, but in a way it's going back to basics.
It is, exactly. We're just, and that's what we call ourselves, an old-fashioned butcher shop, because this is what butcher shops did 50 years ago, and you can almost trace it back. About 40 years ago was when all this centralization and mass production started, and that's when butcher shops stopped doing what we're doing and started purchasing meat in boxes and no longer in whole animal forms.
I noticed that you use drug-free meat. Can you expand upon that?
Yeah. Well, it's not only drug-free, it's certified organic. So, in this day and age, there's a lot of confusion as to what organic meat is. And there's so many terms out there. Marketers have had a field day by using terms like naturally raised and natural and hormone-free and free range, and the list goes on. And what do all those terms mean? And realistically in Canada, there's only one term that actually means anything, and that's certified organic. And what that means is that the animals have been raised according to strict organic standards, which include no antibiotics, no growth hormones. Any feed they have is also certified organic because it's a closed loop system. There's minimum space requirements indoors and outdoors. The humane treatment from birth to death, every aspect of how that animal's raised is in those organic regulations. And then to be certified, a farm has to essentially hire a third party and who audits their operations. So I always compare it to investing in a company without audited financial statements. Would you ever buy shares in a company without audited financial statements? Well, this is the same thing. Would you buy meat without some kind of audit? Because without it, and in all those other terms, there's no assurance of what you're getting. So I got something for you guys. I figured this would be perfect for the food diva, which is one of our quotes that we often use.
Big breasts, firm flanks, lovely loins. Well, thank you.
No problem.
Rob is the head butcher for The Healthy Butcher, and he's going to walk us through how to carve up an animal. So thank you so much for having us behind the scenes. What sort of animal is this?
This is a lamb.
Okay, and how would you best describe how to separate it into its parts? And if you could maybe point out the different parts of an animal, because a lot of people don't realize the parts.
Well, basically, starting from the head, we have the neck, then we have our shanks, and then the breast, then we get to the shoulder, and then there's the rib section, and then there's the loin section, and then there's the leg sections. And to finish it all off, we have few more shanks. And then we want to break the hips off the loin at the lowest point. You can either do it with a hacksaw or with a bandsaw, or you can just do it manually.
Okay.
Just basically putting it on the edge of the corner, on the edge of the table, and breaking the spine.
Perfect.
You got the 2 legs right here, which you can make roast out of, or you can do mini leg of lamb roast,
Okay.
but they'd be boneless. And then you have the saddle right here,
All right.
which is also known as the loin section. So now we're going to break the shoulder from the rib section. Obviously the shanks are still attached to the shoulder section, and also the plates are still attached. So that'll probably be our next step, is to take those off. Next one is to basically break the ribs off of the lamb. And the last step on the bandsaw is to split the legs. That's pretty much all the cuts right there, a little more recognizable. There's still a lot more cleaning up to be done.
But those are the basics.
Those are the basics right there.
The Healthy Butcher ensures that the organic meat that you are eating is produced the way nature intended it to be. Here located on Ruth Street in Kitchener, come check them out.